For task 7, we're going to write another function, either a general one or a specific one, to sort of equalize two binary strings. What we're going to do is we're going to take a binary string, for example 111, and if it was a 4-bit binary number, then we need a digit in each bit place. So we need to put a 0 on the front, we call it a leading 0, to pad out the string. So what we need to do is really think about what we did in task 6 to complete this project. First, let's see if we can try to understand what the issue is here. When we are going to add two binary numbers, let me just use this one. I may ask you for a binary number and you might type in 111, and you might want to add that to 1010. Now, as you can see, first of all, they are in, if I align them up as though we were going to add, they are actually in the wrong position. I would need to have them like that. So this was the units column here, this was the next one along, and the next one along, and finally the end bit. Now these have got special names in binary. This one is called the most significant bit, or MSB, and this one is the least significant bit. So if you're thinking sort of in tens, hundred units, this is the units column, this would be the tens, hundreds and thousands. But if we try to add these two together, so if I added 1 and 0 and I got 1, 1 and 1, what I would end up with is trying to add this 1 here to a sort of empty string. There'd be nothing there and my program would crash. So if I was going to add two binary numbers, what I'd really like is for both numbers to be of the same length. Now, I don't know when somebody types in which one is going to be the longer. I'm going to have to try and work that one out. But that is for my main program, working it out in here. In this library, or for my function, I just need one which is capable of attaching zeros on the front of an already populated string. So let's take a look at it. And I'm going to go right into writing the function straight away. I'm going to call it pad string. I don't know what argument I want to pass at the moment, apart from the fact that, well, I'll need a binary string. Now, if you remember what I said, that this is a general purpose routine, so maybe my string would be a lot better than binary string. Binary is sort of making it specific to the binary problem. But what I want to do here is pad any string with any character. So, for example, if I got, let's say, two strings, or if I wanted any sort of string like ARE, and I wanted to pad the beginning of it with some spaces so that I could format it on the screen, I might want to actually put 4 spaces in there. Okay, so I wouldn't necessarily want to be putting 4 zeros, that would look a bit weird, but I might want to have 4 spaces at the front of my string. So I want a general purpose routine to do this. So not only do I want to know what my string will be that I'm trying to pad, I would need to also have a number of places, a variable for a number of places. Now what I've done is I've actually got a second argument being passed into this routine, and it's general purpose. It's going to work with binary and it's going to work with any other sort of string. So I know what the string is, I know how many places I'm going to do. The only thing I really need in my string is what the character is going to be, whether it's going to be a 0, whether it's going to be a space, a Z, anything. It's going to appear at the front of my string. So I know how many. So if that came in as 4, I want to do my routine that many times. So let's kick on and see if we can think about what we're going to be doing. Now I'm going to use a for loop, but I'm going to use a different way of doing it. Up until now I've done for character in a string. What I'm going to do now is use a for loop which is going to count for a number of times. So for index is something that's always used to hold a number which is going to increment. Sometimes we use count. For index in range, so how far is it going to go, how many items do we need to do, and when I open the brackets it's going to give me a hint, range, and inside here I need a stop value. So to begin with I'm going to put in the stop value being the number of places. So if that was 4, I'm going to be doing for index in range 4, and it would actually count 0, 1, 2 and 3. That's 4 items and not the 4. So I'm going to put that in here, number of places, and that is a different for loop because in this one I'm just counting up a number, whereas before I had a particular string that I was going to work with. So what do I want to do? It's a definite one because I know the number of places, but it is going to change each time I call this routine. What I want to do is place it on the front of my string. Now I'm going to start off with new string is empty. Okay, so new string is empty, and I'm going to make a string from this. So I'm going to make a string up which is going to be sort of 0, 0, 0, 0, and then I'm going to add it on the front of my original string. So here goes. Let's see if we can do this. For index, new string equals new string using what I did here. I could tag the character onto the front of it, so I could do character plus new string. So now this line here matches this one here identically, and this one is going to generate a string of whatever the character is going to be. So if it was a 0, that's going to be new string is 0 plus an empty string. So I'm just going to get a 0. Then it's going to go through new string is 0 plus, well, that was 0, so I'm going to end up with a string with 2. And finally, that's my loop. I've done the job. Finally, I just need to build the string, my original string. My string equals, now it needs to be on the front, so I need, new string plus my string. Now that may look a little bit weird because I'm using my string here and I'm using my string here. So if my string was, let's give an example. If my string was 1101 and I wanted to have 2 zeros on the front of it, my string would be that. New string would be 00, and my string would be 1101. So what's going to happen is that the computer will work out this first and then assign it to here, and I will end up with a new version of my string being 001101. So that's basically the technique that we're using. So all I need to do now is return my string, and that's my function. I'm going to test it. There may be errors, there may be none. I know looking at it that I can certainly neaten it up a little bit, but I think we've got something that's going to work, so I'm going to save that. And well, it's pointless running it because it is in a library, so nothing will run. But if you remember, I can use it from the shell, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a equals 111. Then I'm going to do b equals 3 because I want 3 zeros on the front, and I'm going to put my character c equals a 0. So I've set up the main part of the program that I want to do. I've got my binary string, I've got my the number of leading characters that I want, and the character that I want is that, and I'm expecting to get that as my result. So I can just call my pad string with my arguments. So if I just do this, print pad string, and the first one is my string. Notice that when I opened up the parenthesis, it told me what I need to include and how to separate them with a comma. So I need my string, which is A, I need the number of places, which is B, and I need the character, which is C. And when I press enter, there you go, and the result is exactly as expected. Now that is a general purpose routine. I know we've done it with binary numbers, but it's a general purpose routine. I could actually set A equal to hello. I could set B equal to 5, and I could set C equal to be the character Z, and I would expect 5 Z's on the front of hello when I call pad string ABC. So let me just copy this and paste it here, and there's the result that I get, 5 Z's on front of the hello. It works exactly as required, but it is general. I know we used it for binary, which is specific, but it is general. So we'll have a look at making it specific, or what we'd need to do to make it specific in the next video.